Breaking news. Breaking, Graham demands answers from FBI after report they sought revenge against Trump. Senator Lindsey Graham is demanding answers over a report that claims the FBI sought revenge against President Trump after he fired James Comey, by creating the Russia probe in retaliation. Breitbart reported that Representative Devin Nunes, R. California, on Saturday accused the FBI of launching an investigation into whether President Donald Trump was an asset of the Russian government to avenge the firing of former FBI Director James Comey. According to the New York Times, law enforcement officials became so concerned by President Trump's behavior in the days after he terminated Comey that they began investigating whether he had been working for Russia against U.S. interests. The report Friday cites unnamed former law enforcement officials and others familiar with the investigation. This is yet more evidence that FBI leaders actually had no real evidence against the Trump team, Nunes, a member of the House Intelligence Committee, told the Washington Examiner's Byron York. Instead, they were simply trying to undermine a president they didn't like and avenge Comey's firing. Senator Lindsey Graham, RS.C., appeared on Fox News Sunday to comment on a New York Times story that the FBI opened an investigation into whether President Trump was acting as a Russian agent after former Director James Comey was fired. Citing the source, Graham, chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, was skeptical of the veracity of the report and said he was astonished that the FBI would open such a probe. Number 1, that story came from somebody who leaked it with an agenda, Graham said. So I'd like to know who leaked it, because they have an agenda not very friendly to President Trump, and I, for one, don't trust what I read in the New York Times. He was also clear that he had not heard about it. I'm going to ask the FBI director, was there a counterintelligence investigation opened up regarding the president as being a potential agent of the Russians? Graham said. I find it astonishing, and to me, it tells me a lot about the people running the FBI. McCabe and that crowd. And while Democrats and their media allies push the narrative of the GOP undermining the Bureau, we only need think of disgraced agents like Peter Strzok and his illicit lover Lisa Page to understand that the FBI's image has been seriously tarnished under Comey. Graham then suggested a congressional probe into how the FBI could initiate such a probe. If this really did happen, he said, Congress needs to know about it, and what I want to do is make sure. How could the FBI do that? What kind of checks and balances are there? On the subject of the government shutdown, Graham was adamant that President Trump was not going to back down, no matter how long the shutdown continues.